Today we're going over 7-4 percents, which was on page 174 in the Green Book. The two objectives here are to model percents, which we'll do in class, and then to write percents as equivalent ratios and to write ratios as equivalent percents. So a little vice versa there, okay? A percent is a ratio or comparison of a quantity to 100. Okay, if you get a 77% on a test, obviously the max percent was 100, so we're always referring to 100, okay? When the second term of a ratio is 10 or 1,000, you can use mental math to find an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 100. So for instance, if you had 7 over 10, okay, 10 is a factor of 100, so you want to get your denominator to be 100, so you're going to multiply by 10 and by 10 to give you 70 over 100. If it's out of 100, that's going to be your percent, so that's going to be 70%. Okay? So anything out of 10 is going to be your percent. So if you get 9 out of 10, okay, that's really 90%. Just a little bit of room here, actually. Perfect. So if you got a 3 out of 10, that would give you 30%. 4 out of 10 would give you 40%, and so on. Okay? Now, if you have it out of 1,000, so let's say that you have, 70 out of 1,000. You want to put it out of 100. Oops. It's a little sloppy. Our percents are always out of 100. Okay? I'm going to cancel one of these zeros out of the way. Give me 7 out of 100. So that would give me 7%. Okay? Alrighty. Okay. So let's do some of these as percents. Let's do 23. 23 out of 100. Okay? Anything out of 100 is going to be that exact percent. So it's like if you had a test, there were 100 total problems and you got 23 of them correct. So you had 23 out of 100, your percent then is 23%. Okay? Let's say you had 87. Oh my gosh, I'm so sloppy. 87 out of 1,000. Okay? Now, it's not as simple as just crossing out zeros, am I right? Okay, I'm going to take a 0 away from here. Okay? Or I'm just going to divide by 10. We'll just do that. I'll show you mathematically. That'll be easier. Okay? So, 1,000 divided by 10 is going to give me 100. Because there's 10 100s in 1,000. Oops. Okay? So that's going to give me out of 100. This is so sloppy. Okay? Now, 87 divided by 10. Okay? Now, you could do 87 like literally divided by 10. Or, when you divide by 10, you're just going to move that decimal point from here to there. So it's going to be 8.7 out of 100, which is going to give us 8.7%. Okay? Alrighty. When the second term of a ratio is a factor of 100, multiply both terms to remain the same. To rename the ratio as a percent. So if you have 13 to 20, oh my gosh, okay, that's really, could also be as 13 over 20, okay? 20 is a factor of 100, so I'm just going to simply multiply by 5, okay? That is going to give me 100 on the bottom, 65 out of 100, okay? Now, you're always going to want to rename this as a percent. So that's going to give us 65%. So if you got 13 out of 20 on a test, or if you have 13 out of 20-something, you have 65% of it, okay? Let's do 12 out of 25. 12 to 25. Same way I'm going to rewrite it like a fraction. Okay? Okay, 25, we want to get 100 on the bottom. It's going to be, multiply that by 4. Multiply the top by 4. It's going to give us 48 out of 100. Okay? Perfect setup for our percent problem. It's going to give us 48%. Okay? So it's a factor of 100. You can do that. Simple math. Okay. Let's rename these percents as ratios. So we have 17%, so we're going to put 17 over 100. Okay. Okay, whenever you're renaming a percent as a fraction or a ratio, you're going to want to put it in simplest form. 17 over 100 is in simplest form, so that's our final answer there. Okay. Then we have 14.2%. So that means, draw a little arrow, we're going to have 14.2 out of 100. Now, you're really not going to want to have a decimal and a fraction, so I'm going to want to move that decimal point, aka I'm going to multiply each one by 10 mathematically. So we're going to move that decimal point right over there. So we're going to 142 over 1,000. Okay, I want you to take a minute. You can pause the video or you can keep listening on if you want to and see, can you divide 142 and 1,000 by, is there a factor that can go into both 142 and 1,000? So we're going to pause the video, see if you can figure that bad boy out. Okay, so we can divide both of these by 2. They're both divisible. That's the greatest common factor. 142 and 1,000 is 2. 142 divided by 2 is going to give us 71. 1,000 divided by 2 is going to give us 500. And that is your equivalent fraction, or ratio. You can write it as 71 to 500. Okay? Sorry, I'm so sloppy. Okay. Let's do 5%. That's going to give us 5 out of 100. I'm sure you all know we can divide that bad boy. So we're going to divide this by 5 and this by 5. It's going to give us 1 over 20 or 1 to 20. Either way is fine. Okay? Okay, so right now I want you to pause the video on this page and try to figure out these ones up here. You're obviously going from ratio to percent. These ones down here, you're going from a percent to a ratio. Okay? Or a fraction. Okay? All right, good luck. Hit play when you're ready to see if you have your answers correct. Okay, so 3 to 10 is going to be 30%. 4 out of 5 is 80%. 50 out of 100, I hope you knew automatically, was 50%. Okay, 25% is the equivalent ratio of 1/4. 84% would be 21 out of 25. 4% would be 1 out of 25. 13.5% should be 27 out of 200, folks. Okay? Alrighty, so let's do this. I just want to make sure that everybody's clear on this. So ratio can be shown as a fraction or a semicolon. Okay? So keep that in mind. If it asks for the equivalent ratio, you can show it in either form. Okay? Alrighty, good luck. Make sure that you have taken all the notes correctly. If you need to watch it again, please do so. Otherwise, we'll see you in class. Bye, guys.